Yuji Naka
was never good.
Sega's old games have always intrigued me. During their console days, they had everything. Run and guns like Gunstar Heroes, RPGs like Shining Force, open worlds like Shenmue, and many examples of plain old arcade-style fun. I was born in a time where only Sonic and Super Monkey Ball continued to thrive. Debatably. But thanks to the Sega All-Star Racing games, I grew interested in the old classics. So interested, in fact, that I bought paperweights in the shape of consoles. Trying to be a Sega fan in today's climate isn't easy, so what I've ended up doing is taking a characteristic of Toho fans. Buying things I don't need nor necessarily like to justify ownership of a Saturn and Dreamcast. And this, of course, includes the mascot of the former, NiGHTS. This purple jester thing made a splash on the Saturn in 1996. Such great timing for a clearly successful console's magnum opus, with no competition at all. Yeah, even though the cards were all against it, the game sold a lot and was very popular among Sega fans. You won't find a Saturn game more people owned unless it starts with a Madden and ends in an NFL 97. I'm surprised for you. Sega seemed to see great things in the lanky purple clown who predates the lanky purple clown, because NiGHTS would immediately be followed up with a holiday-themed sampler disc the same year, along with multiple cameos in Sonic games, even a couple collabs with him. A pinball game, an iToy Play reskin, a tennis game, Sega All-Stars Racing, some Lost World DLC. Not much big, but enough for someone like me to notice. NiGHTS is effectively what you get when you take Sonic, make it a perpetual score attack, and remove the ground. It wasn't always that way, however. Skimming Sega Retro shows me that the game was initially much slower in development, but sped up for interest's sake. It also showed me this gem of a beta design, which... this face. Kill it. Now. The game starts with an opening cinematic. I don't know what it is about 5th gen CGI cutscenes, but their simple animations just get me some. Ah! What is that face? Beta design, Actually, no. You're still worse. If you want a plot summary, you won't get one from the game itself. Giving NiGHTS a staring contest on the title screen, wow NiGHTS, you really suck at this, lets you watch some cutscenes giving the kids some background. One's bordering on an anxiety attack from a musical audition, while the other failed at ballin'. And then both of them have a nightmare about it, which devolves into a drug trip. Why? Well... in the dream world exists NiGHTopia, a paradise for all lucid dreamers. In order to enter, you need the 5 Idia, colorful orbs that each represent a certain virtue. Wise Man, creator of Nightmare and resident giant talking turret tent, wants to conquer NiGHTopia but can't get inside. Our 2 children, Elliot Edwards and Clara Sinclair, possess the Idia, meaning Wise Man and his Nightmare army are after our balls. I refuse to apologize. NiGHTS is one of Wiseman's strongest creations, but since she was given free will, NiGHTS decided, "F you, Dad," and left. Since we're able to keep one of our balls, we can enter the Idia Palace and free her. NiGHTS is able to fly around, drill dash with the A button, and do some pointless acrobat movements with the triggers. She'll leave a sparkle trail behind as she flies, and making a circle will cause whatever's inside to get absorbed. This is the Paraloop, something you'll want to use liberally. Like, as much as the Psy-Loop in Frontiers. NiGHTS did it first, by the way! Whether it be during a moment of yellow-trailed acrobatics, with enemies, or with collectibles, nothing will escape the powerful suck! The areas are littered with rings to fly through, chips to collect, and other things that grant you points. You want to collect 20 chips to destroy these capsules here, getting one of the Idia back. There are 4 sections of a level, with 1 capsule each, and while you can move on to the next section as soon as you get the Idia, ideally you should as much as possible, gaining more and more points. Channel your inner Superman 64. Take every star in sight. Make differently sized loops when you trail yellow and fail to make all 4 sizes because I've only done it once on the Saturn. This is a score attack after all, and you won't unlock the final stage if your final score in any of the previous ones are below a C rank. So naturally I chose to outdo my college semesters and A rank everything. Each stop at the palace with a new Idia gives you 2 minutes to fly around the next act. Running into enemies will, of course, cost you a couple seconds alongside getting stunned. It rarely happens, but sucks when it does. Try your best not to run out of time. Not only will this creepy backing track cause you to lose sleep if you hear it at all, but you'll lose NiGHTS and all of your points. The kids can still move around and collect things, but they're slow, defenseless, control like shit, and become vulnerable to the alarm eggs. Getting hit once will knock you back, getting hit again while stationary boots you out of the stage. You'll have to start over. The hardest part of the game really is understanding how it all works. There's no tutorial. Being a large proponent of the Sega learning curve, you have to find out for yourself that the blue balls are needed to progress, or the drill dash is limited by the meter at the bottom and can be refilled with rings, or that you can pull a continuous dash in the first place. I didn't know that second part until I played the second game, because NiGHTS tends to be fast enough with just one press. More so if you collect this power-up that doesn't say what it does. It's amazing how fast you can go. All that being said, Spring Valley here, the first stage, shows you nearly everything you'll deal with in the coming stages outside of exclusive gimmicks, and it does so using each act to feed you in pieces. So even though you're fending for yourself here, playing this stage repeatedly makes for great practice. Considering the game's overall length, I feel that was on purpose. Once you've cleared the 4 acts, it's boss time. The first stage you're likely to play naturally has the simplest boss. Gilling here is meant to be a dragon tadpole, but I always thought he looked like a tube sock with wings. You can go about him one of two ways. Either take the easy way out and just, or paraloop his tail and you'll be done immediately. He flops it around too much for comfort if you ask me. You unlock Claris's next stage, Mystic Forest, but I personally find the most stable difficulty curve in alternating between the two kids. So instead, we have Elliot's first level, Splash Garden. This level is great, probably my favorite in the game. You've got fountains that take you to other parts of the track, a flower clock that moves and reminds me of Pokemon Platinum, and underwater sections where Knight suddenly grows a mermaid tail. I'm not singing this time. Not after learning of the rapping sequel's existence. The boss here is Puffy. Rated E for ew, why is this in an E-rated game? Puffy is immune to damage, so you have to toss her through the hallway to the end, where she'll get penetrated. She'll get smashed. She'll get crushed. She'll get popped. That's better. She operates in ball physics, so if you touch her at the wrong time, you'll lose time. It's not very consistent, but otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward fight. The chips are a little scarce in Mystic Forest, but the level isn't difficult. This overhead section, though, is a little annoying. Splash Garden had one too, but it didn't have as many walls.
Okay, who puts springs in the middle of a damn forest?
The boss here is a fish named Gulpo. Why didn't you fight him in the water stage? He swims around the middle, so you have to use the piranhas to bounce across the area and into him. You can string hits together quickly to make him go down faster than you can say fish sticks are nasty, but if you don't, get ready to start seething. Frozen Bell is my next favorite stage, not so much for the design, but rather the music. Nights into Dreams has an outstanding score. Paternal Horn, Gloom of the NHC, Take the Snow Train, Under Construction, The Dragon Gave a Loud Scream, The Mantle. Oh god damn! Nights in Riala. The OST is filled with all the funk and excitement I know and love from Japanese Sonic CD. I wonder why. Interestingly, the stage themes will be arranged differently on repeat playthroughs based on how you treated the Nightopians. Oh yeah, those things. I was looking for a segue to them. They're like Chow, but wrong. They act on their own, react to their environment, and can be interacted with using the game's A-Life system.
Innovative, but ultimately useless.
I wouldn't necessarily call the A-Life system a waste of space, as it's founded by games like Lemmings and Populous, then adapted and modified for the Chow Garden and the Sonic Adventure games, but you don't need to do anything with the Nightopians. It's optional, you know, there if you want to mess around, but a mere background element when you're linking points together. Novel, but non-essential. On the topic of the backgrounds, graphically this game looks amazing for a system as complicated as the Saturn. I know this kind of ruins my opening joke, but Yuji Naka's NiGHTS engine was an impressive piece of work. Doesn't excuse him for helping to screw over Sonic Extreme by being possessive of it. Bell and Wonderworld deserve to fail! Dashing through the snow on a weird dream creature sleigh. Through the half pipe we go, drilling all the way. I realized this was inevitable. I can't keep this up for long, so cut to the next boss, please. Claus, or Tom as I like to call him, jumps from Jerry to Jerry, setting them on fire and eventually launching at you. Your goal is to bash through the sparkling jerrys until only one's left and Claus is nowhere to jump to. Do note the spinning wheels. Soft Museum is all bouncy. It's described as the confusion on the loading screen, but the only thing that confuses me is that Knights seemingly helped breed a generation of inflation fetishes. I hate that those words came out of my mouth. Like Splash Garden, there's a section where the camera faces Knights from the back. It's not the best in Control, but it looks cool, and I have more positive things to say about it than Act 4 being almost too long to do more than one lap in. Or the boss. I hate Jackal. He tosses homing cards at you and will never be in range if you get hit, and if he gets his mantle back after being hit, he'll draw out the battle much longer than it needs to. Oh, he's dead. Sorry, I forgot that this isn't my first playthrough anymore. Just curve up and down to dodge the cards and channel your Master Core strategy to kill him. Why are there question mark blocks in my Knights game? Now we have Stick Canyon, also known as Seriously, so many things will irritate you. Whether it be the electricity triangles that drain your dash meter, the tower where you always get hit, or the tracks that always seem to take just too long for me to stay flying. I was lucky I didn't get caught this time. Act 4 in general just tosses too much shit at you. Including a game of Katamari Damacy 7.5 years too early. Do we at least have a good boss to end it on? Up to interpretation, honestly. Holy shit, a pre-battle cutscene with dialogue! Who cares if it doesn't amount to much? Whoever this person is, I'm sure they amount to something special. It's over. Anyway, this is Riala. He's the other strongest Knight Marin, and what Knights would be like if she chose to obey Wiseman. And if she went to assail at Hot Topic. With the same build comes the same abilities. He can dash and paraloop too, and you need to paraloop him 3 times to win. Sometimes he's predictable. Usually he's predictable. Other times he's playing 4D chess. However, this lets me segue nicely into the multiplayer. Didn't see this coming, did you? Nights into Dreams has multiplayer. You and a friend, or in my case a girlfriend, can see who can loop the other 3 times first. It's not particularly deep multiplayer, but it quickly becomes a mind game. Seriously, it's not so much a competition between who can make better circular movements, but rather who can predict the opponent and then evade them more. Better yet, the first time I tried this mode out, I found someone who circumvented the Sega learning curve, because goddamn, I was getting my ass kicked even after I took the analog pad. Nights into Dreams had a special controller made for optimal gameplay, and while it's not exactly mandatory to play the game, how do you make circles with this?
I'm Hot Topic!
Yes, you are Hot Topic. This is gonna be one of those days, isn't it? I mean, you already win. No. I can't let Hot Topic win.
Why not?
Because I've only been there once.
I mean, my whole wardrobe is basically Hot Topic, besides the pink hoodie that I have.
And now I fly away and stall you until it's over. Fun fact, this is literally the only way to hear Theme of a Tragic Revenge. Yeah!
Dang you.
No. Hot Topic is now shut down.
No.
Except it's first to 5. So we're gonna be here for another 2 hours, likely. We're soaring! Flying! There's not a star in heaven that we can't... I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Neither do I.
I don't like High School Musical.
Neither do I.
Nope. Juked. I can show you the world of Japanese animation. I can open your eyes, take you series by series, shoujo shonen, and add cheese with sub-storylines, a whole new world. It's great to be an otaku. I can't stay on key. I don't even know what the key was. It was Fishy Boopkin singing it. Hot Topic's not looking so hot right now. Ha! Got him!
Leave my Hot Topic alone. You leave my favorite store alone.
Yeah, you were just kind of like... Why were you just scrolling around in a tiny loop the whole time? That was very easy to target.
I don't know. Why not?
You're supposed to kill me here.
I'm trying my best.
Okay, you got me that time at least.
See?
But there's just one problem. I'm inside your walls!
Where?
Wow! You're not gonna get that twice.
What the heck?
Both characters have the same final stage, and finishing it with both characters gives you the completed ending. This is Twin Seeds, where... How did I survive that? Well, fine, I'll finish the job myself. Take me, sweet death! I believe I can fly. Twin Seeds is a little different. You have 3 minutes to collect all the chips you need to destroy the capsules. There's no drawing out the timer. You'll move on to the next section upon destroying a capsule, and the time won't reset, making it more of a time attack than a score attack. In hindsight, I think Journey of Dreams took the most inspiration from this stage. At the end, once you finish dealing with the sticky balloons, you'll find Knights trapped in the center.
The real superpower of teamwork!
Finally, we're face to face with the giant talking turret tent himself. Wiseman has 4 attacks: fireballs, meteors, snowballs, and water tornadoes. Before I knew I could keep the drill dash going, I thought the tornadoes were unavoidable. No, you just have to dash through their very tiny hitboxes. A shame Wiseman only dies in 4 hits though. He's dead, and so are all his creations. More on that in the next game. Elliot and Claris wake up with newfound courage and use it to face their adversity and succeed. Good job, Elliot. That guy was a cheater anyway. He's clearly traveling. I don't even play basketball and I know this. The second time you beat Twin Seeds, you get some extra content. Elliot lays Claris to rest in Spring Valley before waking up, and we see Twin Seeds celebrate 100 years of existence. Good for them, no one I know has achieved that. Elliot gets attracted to the musical and, ooh, particle effects. The game's finished. The credits roll with Dreams Dreams playing in the background, reminding me a lot of Sonic Adventure's 7 credit sequences. I'm not super big on the song itself, but the kids' version made me curious on where they are now. Jasmine and Alan actually became a celebrity in Japan at a young age. Cameron Strother, on the other hand, peaced out. I can't find anything on him. And that's really it. My footage totaled under 90 minutes. Very short game. So short that if you hunt down a Saturn in a physical copy, reevaluate your fucking life. The remaster is far cheaper on modern systems. Or it would be if it wasn't getting delisted. Great job, Sega. Speaking of which, the remaster. It's... Well, I'm glad there's a widely available port of the game, but there are a couple of problems. For one, the graphics. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad, and they did fix the pop-in that plagued many Saturn games, but let me put it to you like this. For the Saturn, this was impressive. As long as we ignore the occasional slowdown and sprite flickering. For modern systems, this is passable. Basic. Smooth, but unimpressive. Second, the control. The game was made for the analog pad. Maybe I needed to install the control pads manually and forgot, but turning feels very herky-jerk, even with a 360 controller. Compare my Saturn footage to that of the remaster, and it's clear the difference it makes. By the way, you need a community layout. On Steam, the game doesn't natively support a controller layout for some reason, so you'll be stuck with a keyboard. Does this game look like it can use a keyboard well? Because of these issues, I decided to do the stupid thing and buy a European Christmas Nights disc for quadruple the price of the remaster. Jingle chips, jingle away from me. I need to collect them so that I can just go free. Christmas Nights tells the story of a Christmas tree star being stolen by Nightmare, so Elliot and Claris return to Nightopia to save it. This is a sampler disc with a coat of paint over Spring Valley in the fight with Gilwing, but it has some extra bells and whistles involving the Saturn's clock. Playing the game in December gives you the Christmas reskins over everything, a Jingle Bells remix, and it all looks very pretty. Like, even more so than the original game. The surrounding months still have the game in winter, with New Year's Day giving the kids some special outfits. Any other time is just Spring Valley normally, but if you really want Elliot to play through each act in reverse, that's how the level is for him. After each level, you'll get chances to play Memory Match for the extra bells and whistles, such as concept art or a karaoke of Dreams. The most noteworthy bonus is Riala, you son of a bitch! Yeah, no matter how many chances you get from doing better on the stage, Riala immediately cancels your game. Like now, the red bastard! There's a lot of stuff that goes in the Knights Museum, such as merchandise I didn't know existed, or Riala f***ing me again, the stupid Hot Topic reject! You can actually play as him on April 1st, complete with the same voice clips as Knights. Didn't know he could be a troll and perfectly imitate her. There's apparently a secret Knights boss fight for when you're playing as Riala, but I have no clue how to access it. Anyway, the most special bonus the presents can get you as Riala, Sorry, force a habit. As you can see...
Oh yeah! This is happening!
We have Sonic's second ever 3D appearance, folks. He's stuck to the ground like the kids, but he can actually, move. And jump high. It's still really disorienting, but at least we're not going at a snail's pace. Playing as him actually gives Puffy a far more safe-for-work Eggman reskin with a remix of CD's final boss theme. It's even more clumsy than the original, if I'm being honest, but par for the course when you're on foot. Novel, but non-essential. Just like Christmas Nights in its entirety. No wonder it comes free with the remaster. How did I ever pass my economics class in high school? Sonic Team focused less on making the game long, and more on making the game replayable. I can see that clearly. Getting used to the controls, trying to keep the link chain growing as long as possible, improving your score repeatedly. All of these make Nights into Dreams pretty addicting. For the 3 hours at most you'll play it for at a time. Nights perfectly encapsulates what Sega console games were like in those days, recreating as much of an arcade-like experience as possible. A blessing and a curse. Those who want more meat on their bones won't gain much from this, part of why the remaster runs, or rather ran, great job Sega, so cheap. That said, I had a lot of fun with the game, and I think it deserved the praise it got in 1996. Times were changing. Dimensions were being discovered. It was the birth of the ever-so-prevalent 3D platformer, and Knights managed to wedge her way into the big leagues, critically speaking of course, while standing out in a good way, and for that, I applaud her. So how about we wait 11 years for a rerun with more cheese than a pizza? Look, I'm hungry and it was an easy joke, okay?
How